Hi, I'm Tim Roehl. As we look at our transformational coaching tips, let's look at how to become a great listener. Who's the best listener you know? It wasn't hard to come up with somebody, was it? Because they're rare. What makes them such a great listener? Now, I don't know if they're intentional about it or intuitive about it, but for you and I as coaches, great listening is the foundation of all great coaching. So let's look at 7 benefits of great listening. Great listening, number 1, lets people know that they are valued and respected. Nothing's more important when you listen to someone than letting them know how important they are. It says, I love you without words. Number 2, great listening treats people like adults and enhances adult learning. You and I have both had the experience of having someone talk down to us like we were a child or something. And you know how that made you feel. I know how it made me feel. And so when you take the time to listen well to someone, it says, not only are you valuable to me, but I'm treating you as a peer, as an adult. Number 3, great listening holds up a mirror so that the leaders can see themselves more realistically. Sometimes just the ability to untangle things, to verbalize things through our words, our speaking, allows things to get a lot more clear for people. And the ministry of listening is a very powerful way to serve people. Number 4, great listening helps provide us with accurate information and helps us move beyond assumptions. The more we listen, the better we know what reality is and what's going on. We're going to spend a whole teaching tip just on that. Number 5, great listening builds credibility by demonstrating empathy. So as we take the time to listen and show that we care, it builds credibility for us as a coach so that when we do speak, it carries a lot more impact. Number 6, great listening creates the focus and clarity of self-awareness. As we're serving leaders and they're getting more clear about where they are and what's going on, that listening, the ministry of listening, helps them move forward. And then number 7, the 7th benefit of great listening is that great listening creates ownership and personal responsibility. The goal of a coach is not to come up with the answers. The goal of the coach is to help the leader discover the answers and leave the responsibility, leave the ball in the leader's hands, if you will. So you say, okay, Tim, well, how do you become a great listener? Well, let me give you 7 simple tips about how to become a great listener. Number 1, I borrow from Stephen Covey from his 7 Habits of Effective Leaders book, and it's simply this: seek first to understand, then to be understood. Often the Holy Spirit whispers that one to me as I'm in a conversation with someone. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Number 2 comes from my teammate Steve Ogney. He who talks most listens least. So you want to be shooting for a ratio of 20% of the time you're talking and 80% of the time they're talking. The more that you're listening, the better off you're going to be in serving them as a coach. Number 3, start with the other person's world, their frame of reference. The more I can put myself in their shoes, the more I can see things through their eyes, the more effective I'm going to be as a coach for them. Number 4, listen beyond words for the tone of voice and the body language, and be conscious of yours. Now, communications experts tell us that communication is 7% what you say, your words, 35% how you say it, your tone, and 58% your body language. So when you're coaching someone, you want to pay attention to what their body language is saying, and you want to pay attention to what your body is saying in terms of how well you're listening to them. Number 5, be aware of autobiographical responses. In other words, be careful not to just tell your story. There's an old ditty that says, I listened to your real or imagined woes, attention undiminished, because I plan to start on mine the moment you are finished. Well, that comes across far too often. And so if you can resist the urge to have to tell your story and really keep it listening to their story, you're listening well. Number 6 is don't be afraid of silence. We North Americans really struggle with that. And sometimes the very best listening you're doing is just allowing space for God to work. I love to say a pregnant pause can give birth to great insights. So don't be afraid of silence. And then number 7, listen for the aha or uh-oh moments. They're the discovery points. They're the turning points in every coaching conversation. And so as you're listening, those 7 simple things will help you become a great listener. I once heard a story of a woman who sat between 2 very important people at an event. And afterwards, someone said to her, "Oh, what was it like to sit between VIP 1 and VIP 2. Oh, she said, it was very interesting. After I got done listening to VIP 1, I thought he was the most interesting person in the whole world. And after I got done talking to VIP 2, I thought I was the most interesting person in the world. Hey, after people have been with you, what do they say? The power of listening makes all the difference in great coaching.